Well, good day, everybody. Here we go again, and I'm still here in Les Sables d'Olonne at the Vendée Globe Race Village, which is now shut, but the Vendée is happening on Sunday, so that'll be a bit of fun. COVID's causing all sorts of chaos around the world again, which is very unfortunate for a few things. We had a press conference planned for December the 1st for OGR with four, maybe five of our French entries turning up and another couple of entrants as well. It was going to be quite a good deal, but we've had to postpone that and reschedule. We're not sure when, because we'll start to close up towards Christmas. It's obviously going to be in the new year, but we will be reactivating our newsletters. We've decided to start writing again about different things, so they should be going out to subscribers probably sometime early December. And if you're an entrant, you'll start to get the entrant updates. It was supposed to go out literally today, just updating on the press conference and all the rest of it. But now that's been rescheduled. We are now looking at getting that out next week. And we'll see how we go. We're actually opening a GGR McIntyre Adventure office here in Les Sables d'Olonne in a couple of weeks as well. So we'll be based here. Turns out now Jane is trapped in China. Well, not trapped in China. She was trapped in Australia, went back to China. She's there at the moment. She'll be there for a few months. So I'm hoping to stay here now for some time. And she'll hopefully, we think we'll be able to get her in maybe in March next year. We're not sure. So OGR will be based out of here as well, which is quite cool. Entry wise, we've still got one place left in adventure class. Cellular class is virtually full, but a wait list is possible. You know, we're still talking to some people, and realistically, remembering, especially with the classic challenge, you know, we're talking to quite a few people. But come September next year, classic challenge. Whilst they've got a hold on 8 spots, if we've only filled 4 or 5 or whatever, it all goes on the open market. So anyone in the wait list, it doesn't matter. We open up to top it at 34 entries maximum. And remembering that by our estimates, there's about 20% of sailors around the world probably know about the OGR. When we start promoting again, we're quite confident there'll be a lot of people looking to join. We'll have to say, sorry, we're pretty topped up. And just speaking to some of the owners, they're all getting lobbied for crew. There's a lot of people that want to crew on boats. We don't actually place crew anywhere. That's up to you to find your own berth. And there's some pretty interesting characters. Tapio was on that little video clip then sailing his Galliana in Finland. He's got a pool of about 50 people trying out, all young sailors all trying out to crew on his boat. So if you're up for it, find yourself an owner and start lobbying. It'd be quite fun. We had been, I don't know whether I mentioned this last month or not, but a lot of things have been set back because of COVID. The notice of race won't now come out until the second quarter of next year. Okay, we're still working on the pre-notice of race. The same with the course. We've opened that up, giving the ports time to assess their situation and so on. So the course won't be defined until the second quarter of next year. It's all looking very good. We've got serious interest, and there's some great things happening in the background. And also the actual real website for OGR won't actually turn up until second quarter next year as well. When we planned this back in July of 19, we assumed we'd be launching the new website now. We haven't. Everything's now stepped back a tad. Apart from that, everyone here is healthy. I hope everyone's healthy that's watching this. I think that's really about it. So I'm going to bring Sebastian in here now. Another Finland entry. G'day, Sebastian. How are you?
Hello, everyone.
Good to be chatting. So tell me, what is it with Finnish people? We got a lot of interest in Finland. What's the deal? You know, where's it coming from?
Well, the thing is, we weren't petrol heads back in the day, so it's either you choose driving rally or then you do sailing. Or skiing, or carrying around old women in mud or something. We ended up being sailors. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Tapio's always on about how he's out to protect the Finnish reputation, but boy, we got a lot of Finnish sailors. It's quite interesting. It's going to be a bit of fun. And just to get people up to speed before we start getting into your background, you've got a beautiful Swan 51. Tell us about this boat before we get into your history. When did you get this boat, and what's your plans? Your simple plans for the OGR.
This is the Swan 51. It was we acquired it back in the days, about 10 years ago, and I'm not the sole owner. We are 7 boys owning it. and some of us are going on the OGR, and we've been doing quite a lot of sailing with her for the last 5-6 years, 6 transatlantics, and slowly kind of
Six transatlantics.
Yeah.
Wow.
And slowly kind of adapting her to these kind of like long hauls, and we're slowly getting there. So we're working her all the time, kind of towards this OGR event.
Yeah. Now, if I remember right, has yours got the one with the port side double cabin, like upper and lower, under the cockpit?
Yeah, this is one of the 6 designs that became the alternative one version, which is basically the charter version of the boat. And
right.
It has, where the standard version has an L-shaped galley, this one has an extra cabin and a dinette instead.
So, yeah.
So it allows for quite a large crew, and that's the version we wanted in the first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As you do, you scroll through and look at the boats that are for sale and so on. I remember the first one I saw, the first 51 with that layout. I said, "That's the boat for the OGR. It's perfect, eh?" Yeah. That's pretty cool. So you're sailing already with, even the sailing you're doing, you're using Dacron sails and so on, or how serious racing is it, or is it just ocean voyaging? What are you doing? Where do you slot in?
The ones we have are actually we're looking more on durability, and I think there's a few sails we need to change some of them before we go. So there's a bit of a list, but we haven't had any laminate sails at all. We're just standing with Dacron sails because
Okay, so let's get behind the scenes. Tell me a bit about you, where you were born. What got you into sailing? What did you do when you weren't sailing? Tell us a bit about your life. Where did it start?
I don't know. It's I'm coming from a sailing family, and we've been sailing for generations, basically. So,
really?
Yeah, we're 3 brothers as well, and we're all sailing.
So what sort of things were your father sailing in? Like what sort of boats?
Well, you know what they had back in the days. The family had a folk boat, and
a folk boat.
A folk boat, yeah, the wooden one. And it leaked from behind or from down below, and the roof and the sides and everything. And then my grandfather decided at some point to change it into one of the first GRP boats that came to Finland. It was like I think it was a Jasmine 25 or something like that. Like a really small, kind of bulky thing. But at least it didn't leak that much. But we crammed in there. We were like 5 people, 3 kids and our parents and a dog for like the summer vacation. And then we just went out somewhere and hide in the archipelago.
So what did your dad do for a job? What was his profession?
He was in marketing back in the day.
Yeah. Okay. So, is he still alive? He still follows what you do?
He's still following. Yeah. It's a funny thing, actually. I need to tell you this. He bought a house in one of these coastal cities, and he came across a house that was owned by an old Whitbread veteran, and the house has a sauna, and it's designed for 16 people. So you can fit in the whole Whitbread crew in that sauna.
Did they have mixed gender crews back then?
Yeah, exactly. No, I was thinking that if you ever make it back, we're gonna park up at this place and just go into that sauna, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so you pick up on sailing, and then you go to college or whatever it is and get a profession. What did you move into?
I read history at the University of Helsinki.
Okay.
And because that's not a natural path to work, so you kind of need to start quite early. Started to go into business or what we actually do is we create narratives, different kind of narratives and documentaries and film and stuff like that.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah.
I know you. Oh, that's interesting because I know. I'll just pop this in. This is one of your crew members. We started talking about it.
Yeah.
So tell me the story here. This is one of the guys that's going with you.
Yeah, he's. This is really fun because we've known each other since we were like 4 years old, and he was pretty close to a family back in the days. This sailing family, and he doesn't come from that background, but he kind of adopted it. and started sailing himself. And he's done a lot of sailing since. He's sitting there on his Swan 38, which he took back from England. And as it happens, because he's basically in a little bit same line of profession, we sat down and have a discussion about making some kind of program out of this trip, kind of a documentary.
Yeah.
I was kind of, thinking about it, what it would look like, and then.
Well,
then
I was going to say he's going to make you famous, but now I find out that you're a documentary filmmaker, so you're going to blow it out of the water totally. We got to talk about this.
Someone needs to hold on the camera. No, but it's fun because the OGR basically makes it possible to do sailing and also to be a bit professional on whatever we've been doing before. So it's quite an interesting.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The big thing about the race, everything we get involved with, it's all about the stories. That's our favourite catch line, and it's all human interest stories, and it's adventure, and it's people, the whole lot, which is amazing. So, and from our perspective, now that I know you're a filmmaker, that's fantastic, because whatever you do is going to inspire a lot of people. We're big time into spreading the word. So so that's kind of cool. Okay, so all right. So when did you hear about the OGR, and what made you decide to trip over into doing it?
There was I was contacted and tipped to have a look at the whole concept, and I think it took about 5 minutes to make the decision.
You're not alone.
The thing is that in the back of my head, I was always thinking that it would be nice or really nice or fun to do a circumnavigation. But then again, to put your family in a GRP box and take rob your kids away from their school and friends, it's not really. I don't think, in a modern sense of, I don't think that would have been. So when this came up, it was kind of like it presented another way to do it, so I thought it was the perfect solution. And of course, because we had the boat.
Yeah, okay.
That's a big thing. If we wouldn't have had the boat, then we probably wouldn't do it.
So I had a look at this shot here, and so you're a Swan fan from way back, because this was your previous boat, right?
Yeah, well, this is actually a mate of mine that had a Swan 42, and he called me this one day and said that, hey, we need to get the hell out of Finland. Let's do something fun, and we went away for 11 months.
Yeah,
and just scraped together all the money we had and just left. And this is the first. This is in 1999, if memory serves. And we did 2 transatlantics with it. We did the ARC across to the Caribbean, and then in the spring we sailed back.
Okay, so I think it's just one of those things, Swan, Finland, Swan. Sailors are just what you do. In Australia we'd say it's because you got to have a Holden car. In Finland you got to have a bloody Swan, right?
Yeah, I think the reason why we actually fell for that boat, because it wasn't the perfect boat. It was in quite bad shape and everything. We had to basically repair it all the way around this Milky Way. But that's another story. But the guy Nicholas who bought it, I think his family used to be partly owning Swan. So, and he's also very strong connection to Jakob and so forth. So that's why he drew really strongly on that one.
All right. And then this guy you're telling me, this is going to be your chief mate. He's going to be second in charge. Tell me about that.
Yeah. That's Pontus. That's my brother, the guy with the red hat. And he's part of the same sailing family. And what we've done is we've always been racing together. So we've done around the Cairns racing, and he's also been on the Atlantic, and he sailed a lot on Aira as well, the Swan 51 we are going with. And he's also very accustomed to it. That's one thing, when you have the boat for 10 years, we've been crawling around the bilges and looking at all the electronics and whatever, and the hydraulics and shit. We know the boat. But he has also this technical dimension that some other people might not have.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a very valuable member on the team, and he was actually the first person when I got this hint that have a look at this race and would he be interested to go. He was the first guy I called and said, we went for a cup of coffee, and I asked him, and it didn't take longer for him either.
I must admit, a Swan 59 is a nice objective. It's hard to say no, but anyway, that's
There's
kind
a
of cool.
funny story about, I can fill in a little bit about how we bought this boat, this 51. We were a friend of mine who's also a owner of the boat. He said that hey, we need to. He was on the old blue 42, sailing across the Atlantic, so he kind of wanted to go back. So he called me one day and said, hey, why don't you kind of come up with a few projects and we'll come over to your office and have a look. So I kind of scrolled the internet all day, and because I remember the dollar was quite weak, so we were kind of thinking about maybe getting a Sparkman Stevens Swan or something from Fort Lauderdale or something, getting it across and all that. And then I had this mad idea, which was basically the one that was underneath all the rest of the paper, which was a Swan 51, and then employing 2 people to take care of it, and then just put it out there, and just move around, and so people could go sailing wherever they wanted. And this Kim guy who was the one asking me, we were supposed to meet with my brother and him, and he comes first, and then he looks at the papers and takes all the other papers and throws them away, and looks at the 51 and says, this is the one. And because my brother is always late, so he always comes late to that meeting, so when he comes to the door, Kim said, we already decided. And then my brother looks at
who's paying the bills though, you or him?
My brother looks at the paper and says, okay.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. All right. All a bit crazy. All right. So listen, we're going to, I don't know whether you may have seen this before. I'm going to try and find out who you are. The first thing I'm going to do is give you some words. Okay. And as soon as I give you the word, tell me the first thing that pops into your head.
Can you be Finnish?
No, they're going to be English words. Or even worse for you, they're going to be Australian words. All right.
Yes.
So here we go.
Okay.
Dreams.
Nightmares.
That's a good start. Holy dooly. Okay. Calm.
What did you say?
Calm. Like smooth seas. Calm.
Calm. Okay. Surface.
Okay. Loser.
Occasionally.
Money.
Paper.
Fear.
Present.
Space.
The next sailing project.
Adventure.
Our class in the OGR.
Love.
Also present.
Cape Horn.
Obstacle.
Time. Come on, we haven't got all bloody time. Matt, you lose.
Okay, yeah. Time. Boxing match.
Okay. Food.
Food. Preferably canned.
Speed.
Era.
Albatross.
Me when I get on the other side.
Excitement.
Well, OGR.
Overboard.
Preferably not.
Mother.
Sea.
Impossible.
Doesn't exist.
Risk.
Calculated.
Cold.
Not down south.
Holidays.
Bathing suit.
I tell you what, I got to tell you something. You're giving answers that I really relate to. I'd probably be giving similar answers. That's strange, eh? Anyway, panic.
Panic. No.
Sleep. Sleep.
Not last night.
Knife.
Finnish household item.
Southern Ocean.
Vast.
Okay, that's enough of those. Rightio. Now we've got some deep and meaningful questions, okay? So you need to pick a number between 1 and 10.
Okay. 8.
8. What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
What's the most dangerous thing I ever
done?
That might have been the moment when I told my wife that I'm going on the OGR.
Okay. Yep. All right, we're off to a good start. 10 to 20.
13.
13. That's not a good choice, maybe. Okay, what inspires you the most?
What inspires me?
Yeah, and don't say your wife because she didn't kill you.
I don't know. The spaghetti monster. I don't know.
Spaghetti monsters. Okay. Next question. 20 to 20, 20 to 30.
30.
30. Describe yourself in 3 words. Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Curious, restless, and I don't know. It's difficult.
That'll do.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Difficult. Yeah, okay. All right. 30 to 40.
36.
36. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
I think that was when we went for the first time across the Atlantic. The friend of mine that I told you that I was sailing with the small 42. His father told us that you need to take a lot of Band-Aid with you because you're gonna hit yourself really badly on that boat across.
And did you?
Of course we did.
You've had an interesting life, believe me. It's really a very inspiring answer. Okay, now it gets really serious. You have to pick a letter between A and N.
E. Echo.
E. Okay, if you were given an elephant, right, and you can't give it away and you can't sell it, what would you do with it?
I put it in my back pocket.
Okay. You're getting a feel for the OGR now. Okay, now I've got to go through. Hang on, I've got to say g'day to a few people and look for some questions. J.O.'s there. G'day, J.O. Ellie Van Wyk. J.O.'s our one of our key players in the organisation, actually. He's probably getting grossly disillusioned at the moment. Anyway, Ada's there. Andrew Pindar. Hey, g'day, Andrew. Gloria Scarborough. Yeah, right. Okay, Vodka Powered. Hang on, how do I get this down? Okay, Jane's there. Oh, that's it. I forgot to mention people, we've probably got 4 people watching, so don't feel embarrassed. They can, if you want to ask a question, you can get there. But anyway, that's all part of the deal. All right, that's easy. Wow. Okay, so you've decided to do the OGR. What's your biggest challenge right now to get to what's your biggest challenge for the OGR for you?
Well, in all seriousness, I guess it's the finances that need to be put together. We need to find a way to finance the whole thing. And I mean, we're almost kind of halfway already having that boat. When you have the boat, it's always easy to kind of build on the project. And I'm really sorry for these guys who don't still have a boat because it makes things a lot more difficult because you don't have a platform to do anything.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really know in which direction we're going to take it. The dream would be to just be able to grab along these people that you really want to have there.
Yeah.
But, it might be that we have to do some kind of solution around that just to get things going.
So you're looking at sponsors as well?
I think that we'll probably be looking at sponsors as well, and we'll see. We'll just have to kind of find the angle into it.
Yeah, you're in a good position being a documentary filmmaker and everything. That's a good start.
Exactly. So I'm not really that's concerned about it because we still have some time to develop the project. But that's.
Yeah, we've got 3 years. But you're a sailor, so be careful of the 3 years. They go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a few people that are saying that, and I'm watching, thinking, "Oh yeah, I've been there too." Anyway, okay, so let's assume you've now lined up at the start. You've got the boat organised, the crew's there, and you're going to head down towards Cape Town. What's your biggest fear at that point?
I don't know. It's during these years that I spent on her, basically doing these transatlantics. I kind of remember when I started. Now, when I'm in retrospect, when I think of it, some of the stuff we did was quite reckless, and I think I've become quite a lot more careful along the years, and that's always the top concern is basically the crew. And that's my major concern, that something happens. I'm not necessarily talking about somebody flying overboard, but there's so many things that can go wrong on a boat. So if somebody gets a fracture or whatever, it makes things kind of really difficult.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of like my major concern, and I think that what we're gonna do is do everything we possibly can to prevent anything like that happening. So we're gonna put a lot of effort in safety, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So in the group of, I always refer to the three groups. There's those that just want to go around, and there's the others that want to go around and sail as fast as they can, so they don't embarrass themselves and have to pay for all the beer at the bar. And then there's the ones that want to win. Where are you in that scheme? In the groups, you think?
I can't give you any straight answer to that, but what I would like to say is that at the time I spent racing, it's different events, and it's long hauls, round the Cairns racing, Grand Prix racing, it's all different, and I think these long hauls and these Atlantic races, they're like Greek drama in a way. That there's these people that lose, and there's the people that win, and then there's the people that become second and third, and then there's everybody in between, and they all need it for that drama to fold. To happen, and they all need it and they all have their position there. So somehow I have the deepest respect for a person that became like sixth in a race, because he's necessary for everything to happen. So, but I would lie if I'd say that I don't. I wouldn't be. Of course, everybody wants to win. I mean, that's for sure. But there's a price to it as well. I mean, you have to always kind of see to it as a whole kind of thing. And you have to know the limitations of your boat and your crew and all that. Plays in. It's not about what you want, but how it looks like in the whole kind of big picture.
And so also the way you're facing the whole challenge, are you of a mindset to get one crew to go all the way around, or are you going to swap crews around, or what's your feeling on that issue?
Well, I think that this basic crew that we already talked about, they're going to follow the whole way. And I think that's necessary for things to work, that you have a certain kind of continuity in the whole operation. But I think that part of the crew is probably going to be changed in different stopovers and so forth. And also the fact that we are not a Grand Prix racing crew, and I don't even want to have a Grand Prix racing crew on the boat either. I think that this kind of race requires people that have different abilities and also different kind of mindsets. That you need to get along. It's a long journey, and there's a lot of things going on. If you have a happy boat, the boat goes fast. I think that's how you have to think about it.
Yeah, too true. So where's the fun element? What's the fun attraction? And then, in fact, I didn't ask you, how would you define your attraction to the Ocean Globe Race? What is it? What's the essence that's drawn you in?
I think there's a bit of a rock and roll element to it. I really like it. I had the whole idea of it. It's really kind of, I mean, I hate to say it, but then, well, I think you've grown up with these kind of old Yachting World magazines, and they're showing this brand new
I've still got some
51 coming out. Brand new 51 in from 1981. You look at it and you kind of see it's so hard to achieve something like that. You understand that you just kind of drooling over that picture. You want to go there, but you don't know how, and suddenly it's possible. Suddenly you're able to do it. I mean, the whole feeling is just undescribable.
It's really interesting. Even from our perspective as the organizer, some people think we're crazy because we're outside the normal system. We're not going category O. We don't have 5 watertight bulkheads and all the other stuff. And I respect all of that because I've been there. But I just know there's another way, and that's part of the drive behind the OGR. Because you've got all these boats. No one can look at me at the eye and say these boats aren't safe in the Southern Ocean. They are. Sure. There's, you can do everything to be super safe, but where's the balance? And there's a lot of people getting a lot of fun out of this, including us, including Jane and I. We're loving the people involved and things like that. So so what's what in terms of the race itself, the OGR and the whole schematic of how it works? What's going to be the most fun thing for you? Where's the fun?
I think I think the starting line is going to be very exciting, and I'm terrified about the goal. I, no, no, because I tell you this, I know I've been on some of these projects, these longer trips, and the problem is not going there. The problem is coming home. The problem is to land after a trip like that, and that's going to be a long, hard road. I
Yeah,
know that already. The
yeah.
excitement is all in the beginning, but I know that I'm gonna. Oh man, it's
But
going to be
yes,
hard.
I know it's going to change lives. It's a life-changing experience.
It
It's a
is. It is.
life-changing opportunity. So
And
that's pretty straightforward. So is there something that you'd like to tell? I mean, there's probably 4 people watching this, but they'll watch the replay, so don't panic. Is there something that you want to tell people about yourself, about about your campaign? Is there a message you want to get across?
No, I just want to, in general, I think it's so fun to be part of it, and it's really not about this interview is about, are you trying to angle it just like me and asking you about elephants and stuff like that, but in general, I think that the whole thing is about, I mean, it's so much bigger, and the name of the boat that we have, this Eira, she's actually the goddess of healing in Nordic mythology. And what we're trying to kind of say with that name is that she has the ability to heal people. And when you go on trips like that, it's a life-changing thing. It's
Yeah,
not only me and these boys, but the whole crew and the also all the other crews are going through this whole kind of cavalcade of emotions, and they're going to definitely change their lives. And I think that if everything pans out, the thing I think it will do, we'll kind of like make a great brotherhood with people who've been on this race,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
and there's always going to be a touching point, and kind of like
Yeah.
and
Like
that's something
I,
big.
I'm sure you've probably had some life-defining moments before, and so have I. And it's a nice thing to do, when you achieve something quite special. But I can see a lot of people now already defining the OGR as their moment, which is really cool,
Yeah.
and that gives us a lot of fun as well. So, okay, so if there was something within the race, you pretty much know it now that you could change, right? What would it be?
I don't know. I think you're doing a really good job there. I wouldn't kind of comment. In the beginning, I was thinking that it would be more like leave the Antarctica to starboard affair. But now, of course, everybody understands that there needs to be kind of specific rules for everything because we need to think about the
Yeah,
reality. So I don't really see that. There's one thing I was thinking about when you launched these 60 footers that what I
yeah,
really hope to is that it doesn't become to the situation where we let's say we arrive in Cape Town or somewhere and then we have to go in like 3 days because we are one of the slower boats and then kind of
yeah.
it's going to be restarted in a certain time, and then the slowest ones are going to have like the stopover is going to be really short.
No, it's an interesting point. It's on our mind all the time in terms of how we actually manage the legs. Okay, and I've never really discussed it before, I don't think, but I'll tell you how we do it. It's pretty straightforward, and we need to define an official start and finish time, so they'll be set. Okay, they'll be set, and so it's not dependent on a certain percentage of the boats actually finishing to reset the start date. There'll be defined moments. What we
Yeah.
used when we came up with the original concept was Sayula's times for the
Okay.
legs. In
All
other
right.
words, we looked at Sayula's time from Southampton, to Cape Town around to Sydney, Sydney around to Rio, and then back again. And we set that as a benchmark. And in fact, in our host port bid document that we use them as the target speeds. Because sure, a Swan 65 these days is going to be a little bit faster than it was with Sayula because people have got better sailors and but not that much. So
No.
that's the target. And then when you look at the smaller boats, and there are, the 46 footers and stuff, they
Yeah.
are going to take longer. I don't think it'll affect you as much as it'll affect them, especially if things go wrong. So they may get into port and may only be there for a week or whatever. But if all goes well, it still works. It's a balancing act, and certainly the smaller boats are going to go faster. The smaller boats are going to go slower. With the
Yeah.
classic challenge, when it was a very tricky decision to put them in, we got lobbied a lot by a few people, and in the end, I listened to what some journalists told me and Jane and other comments, and it was all about the history of the whole race. So the classic challenge is a modern class. They can use satellites, they can do live video if they want to, all these things. they will look different, and they're sailing a completely different course. The only thing that's common is the start and finish ports. So they'll all be on the same start line, but then they sail a longer course. We're keeping them out there longer, so they don't always be the first boats into port. Hopefully, one of the flyer class or something will actually get there first, and Andrew Pindar will be really pissed, Yeah. But anyway, we'll see. It is a balancing act, but overall, the big picture, I just really, like that whole idea, because the retro classes, the 3 primary classes, where it's back to basics, are so different than the classic challenge that I think it'll all work. But yeah, you're okay. You got a 51 footer. Don't worry. Feel for the 46s. they're gonna be, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fun to see that there's already. I saw the list that there's Swedish 51, and as I recall, there was this one guy on one of these shows that actually mentioned that they're looking for they're looking for a 51 as well.
Yeah.
So we might have 3 of them in the adventure class. That would be really
you'll have fun. There's no doubt there's going to be races within races. That goes without saying. And the other thing is, we've already, depending on the host ports, for when you see them, once we've got the host ports in, you'll be able to run a program on your boat, and work out your approximate sailing time if everything goes right, and I think it's okay, but yeah, you'll be out there longer for sure, but that's fine. It gives you more time to enjoy it. That's all. Think of all the poor guys that get in so soon. They got to sit around in the restaurants and just wait. How boring's that?
Yeah, god damn it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's all pretty cool. I don't want to drag it on too long. People get scared when they see it. We could talk for hours here, about so many different things. So anyway, let me just see if we've got any other comments or questions. Mike and Gay are there. Andrew Pinyard, saying good day to Dominic. Yeah, Dominic Dubois will probably be watching this. We're very happy to do it old school, have proper stopovers. So yeah, Andrew's agreeing. The OGR. Look, I got to say. Anyone that was starting to watch this, they've probably left by now anyway. So this is a quiet conversation between you and me. The OGR is going to be big. I mean, we're getting so much feedback from so many directions that, we're the ones that are occupying a special space at the moment, and we're getting excited. There's some good things going on, and thanks to people like yourself, we got a lot of support with owners. The number of swans that have been bought in the last 6 months for this race.
Market, all disappeared.
It's incredible. So we got some very committed owners, which is just amazing. So it's all going pretty well. All right. Well, that's really cool, eh? I'm glad that it must be really uncomfortable sitting on that elephant, eh?
Yeah.
Must be really...
Not the elephant itself, the trunk.
Yeah, exactly. And we really are quite serious people, but it's good to have fun with someone, so that's fun. All right, that's fantastic, Sebastian. Thanks for chatting, and we're doing one a month for now, just while things are warming up. But later on, we'll close it up to every 2 weeks. When we've got a lot of confidential entrants at the moment, which technically, hopefully by January, most of those confidential entrants will be public. We've got some good new entrants in a few of the divisions. They're really interesting owners and stuff, and then you'll start to see some real colour on the people. And some great ideas too. There's some really good programs going on with the entrants. So it'll be a bit of fun. And we'll see you again, eh? And so that means we'll do it again, probably in about a year or something. You'll be back on again. We'll get an update, and you can tell us how many people are going to fit in that sauna.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers, John. Good. Keep up the good work. We're all waiting for this. You know that.
Yeah, no, it's all good fun. Jane and I are enjoying it a lot. So thanks a lot, eh? Okay, we'll see you again.
All right.
Bye-bye. Okay, so thanks everyone. And if you, I might have another question there. All the best from Robin. We'll be on again in a month. I'm not sure who it'll be, but we'll be back and continue on with this amazing race. Thanks a lot. See you again. Oh, I pressed the wrong bloody button again. Oh, where did it go? I've lost it now. Hang on. Let's go on the other end of the screen. We're frozen up. There it is. See ya.